Good evening, Reds. This is your host, Jarvis Cocker on Tactical Devils. With me tonight, as always, I have my good friend and co-host, Mr. Stu Woolley, in his Adidas t-shirt. By the way, we're not sponsored by anyone, Proclaimer, but you know what he prefers as to wear. So how are you doing, Stu?
Do you know what? I'm all right. I'm still buzzing from the mighty. Manchester United's win, then the mighty Tipton Town's win. But it kind of does come in twos. The mighty Tipton Town win, the mighty Manchester United have to follow suit. Yes. They've got no choice. No. Do you know what? I've had a pissy day at the office. It's been one of those days today. Got a lot going on, but I'm always glad to be with my old mate and everyone in the tactical room talking football. So
I call it the nosebleed section.
It's the nosebleed section. We don't know what to call it yet, do we? We've got to come up with a nickname for the chat.
Yes, I want everybody to come on with suggestions for the chat. You could call it the tacticals, nosebleed section, the almighty ones. Whatever you want to call yourself.
Whatever you want to call us. Yeah, we would love to. We'd love to name you that, whatever it may be. Keep it clean, please. Keep it clean.
But you can keep it funny, you know.
Yeah,
I don't mind. Okay, people are tuning in. We are 10, 15 people at the moment. So, guys, when you start the stream, remember to smash the like. As always, smash the like. You know, that's so important. That's the currency when it comes to YouTubing. And share if you can. Subscribe if you haven't, because we are on our way to 500 subscribers. We are, I don't know how many subscribers we are at the moment. I think we are on 404 when I checked. 406. So we have gained 2 new subscribers in the last couple of hours. Yeah. So we are on our way to 500, and then we are going to get monetized. Yes, it will be great. That's what we are looking for, to be like a real channel. And guys and girls, I just want to say hi to people tuning in. We have Jay United, our chief editor, who just put out a new short today. So we will try to get one out there every day, and he's really helpful for the channel. So he comes in and say, big up Jarvis, Stu, and special guest Cass. Sorry, I can't watch the show tonight. I will catch up when I can. Yes, but that's okay. You can't be here every time, but I appreciate you tuning in and leaving a comment. Reber Bakir, big up. Reber comes in and say, big up. And we have the G-Wolf. G-Wolf coming in. Yo, guys, I hope you're well. Yes, we are. I'm well. As always, you know, my schedule is so super busy every day. And then I know Stu's schedule is busy, but this takes my mind off all the stress. I'm so happy to be here and be able to do this with you and with my good friends too.
Yes.
And we have CMX, or how do I pronounce C?
CMX, I would call it. CMX football.
Yeah, this was the guy we were last Monday. I showed the clip. Talked about diagonal runs, Højlund and all that stuff.
Yes.
Brilliant channel. So, CMX, good to see you here. You know, if you want to come on, send me, just tell me, and I will send you the link. Yeah. This is the Monday show. It's more casual. It's call in. It's a panel show. So if you have the time, feel free to jump on and we can talk football. Because tonight we're going to cover a special topic. We will talk about Højlund. And I know that's your specialty, because we want to know what you guys want to know about Højlund, because he hasn't been firing lately. And this came out today. I will show you guys a tweet. Or was it yesterday? It came out, but it's telling. So here you see it, Stu.
What's happened there, buddy?
It's a little bit small, but I can read it out for you. It said, at Craven Cottage, Rasmus Højlund has 0 shots in the Premier League game for the 7th time in 13 starts this season. 0 shots.
Yeah.
He's had 12 in so far, same number as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So 12 shots this season.
Yeah, I mean, his problem is lack of movement. He's Look, it's a real tough one getting into it with Højlund, isn't it? Because there are a lot of people out there who think that there's an agenda, not necessarily with us, but an agenda across the board with Højlund, with Bruno, with Garnacho, with players that we don't Xerxes, with players that we don't believe are actually performing to the highest standard. So for me, I think it's not about being careful. It's not about being careful what you say or how you articulate your thoughts about Højlund. He's got to understand that being a Premier League striker is one of the most difficult roles to play in world football. It isn't easy as playing in other leagues in this country, in the world, whether it's Norway, whether it's Denmark, Sweden, Portugal, whatever. The Premier League is a different animal altogether.
Yes.
And you've got to embrace it, and you've got to understand. I fail to understand why he's not watching videos and tapes of Andy Cole, of Ruud van Nistelrooy, of Ian Rush, of Luis Suarez, of Robin van Persie, Thierry Henry, all these players who knew where the goal was, who knew where the back of the net was, Dwight York, Mark Hughes. Why aren't you studying your craft with some of the very, very best? Original Ronaldo, R7. You could go on for ages. There's a plethora of strikers that could demonstrate, their ability to sense and drift into the area, or sprint into the area, or just be in the area way before the ball comes, and they're scoring 20, 30 goals a season. Harry Kane would be another great example, because Harry Kane does both. He scored against, he scored for Bayern over the weekend.
Yes.
It was a beautiful goal, wonderful goal. Shields the ball, makes the turn, bang, strike. Højlund's got to be looking at all of these. If he's one of those players that Phil Marsh mentioned a couple of weeks ago, if he's one of those players, they're just going into training and then going home directly after training and dicking about his PlayStation or whatever, he's never going to learn his craft. He will have to go.
But I think Amorim said that Højlund always asked to do extra training, and he actually puts in a shift after every session.
But what's he doing then?
Well, yeah, that's another question. But what are you doing somewhere?
If you're doing this extra training, what are you doing? What are you wanting to be coached? What are you wanting to be spoken to? What are you wanting to see with your own two eyes? Ronaldo famously hired a sprint coach, famously worked on his left foot, famously worked on his free kicks, his finishing, his aerial ability, and look where he is now. Ronaldo. Højlund, if he's been doing all this extra training, and great, I hope he has, it's just, where is it? I'm not seeing anything extra on the pitch, and that's, to me, quite disappointing. So it's not an easy fix.
No.
This problem that he's going through. It's not an easy fix for Højlund, Amorim, and his teammates. But he's not aggressive enough. He's not angry enough if the ball doesn't come in. He's not pointing to where he wants the ball. He's not making breakneck runs into the areas where he needs to or needs to receive the ball with his back to goal. When he was doing that, and he wasn't making breakneck runs, but when he had that period when he scored about 11 goals, in succession, in various competitions, he was he was making runs. He was trying to become available. He just isn't becoming available at the moment. I think he's really got to consider what he does and how he does it moving forward. It's a problem.
Yeah, it is. But the headline of the show is Rasmus Højlund, struggling striker or tactical victim. So, he hasn't scored a lot of goals, but he was at least better when he played for Ten Hag.
Yes.
So my question is, do you think it's a tactical thing that makes him struggle? Do you think it's too hard for him to play in this Amorim system, or is Amorim demanding too much from him? Because he doesn't seem to figure out what Amorim wants him to do. We talk about it all the time. We see we see sometimes he's doing the right thing and sometimes he's not. And you know, the inconsistencies, that's what worries me a little bit. But because for me, it doesn't seem that he understands what Amorim needs him to do.
And this is a big issue for me. Yeah, a massive issue for me. They knew Amorim was coming in 2 weeks before he came. Everybody knew, the whole fucking world knew he was coming in because Manchester United announced it. What would you do in his situation? It's simple. You go home, you get every Sporting Lisbon game for the last 2 years, and Benfica before that, and you start to understand what Gyökeres does and what the strikers at Benfica were doing. How did he do it? How did he turn an also-ran team in Benfica to a cup-winning team that season? What did the striker do differently? You know, before Amorim arrived and when Amorim arrived. Look at Gyökeres at Coventry. Look at Gyökeres at Brighton, and look at him under Amorim. How different was he to Brighton, Coventry, Sporting Lisbon? What's the difference? What path did he tread to get to the prolific striker we're seeing at the moment? So that's what he should be doing. He's clearly not. But then again, all players should have been doing that, Jarvis. They should all be doing their due diligence on the manager. You know, they should all understand, crikey, when he walks through that door, he wants to play like this. I have got to change my game, or I've got to understand his system so that when I go training for the first time and he's talking to me, I'm going, yeah, I can do this. I will spin in there where you need me to be. Normally I'll be out on the right, but actually in your system, I need to be here. So that's where I'm going to be. I just don't see any of our players doing that because they're lazy. Footballers today are inherently lazy. And they're inherently lazy, John.
Do you think they're lazy? Do you really think that's the answer? Because I think that's too simplistic of an approach, because I think they really try their hardest. But I think there's something with the Man United shirt. I think when you have thousands of eyes staring at you, the demands, I think a lot of them get paralyzed when it comes to performing, and they actually stop thinking, and they go into default mode and hide.
But you shouldn't be at Manchester United then. You shouldn't be any top level football club.
I agree, but that's why I think it's more multi-layered than just lazy.
I think they're lazy because they're all right car shopping. They go car shopping, no problem. They can take the missus shopping, they go house hunting, no problem. But yet they can't do simplistic things on a football pitch. That's their job. That's what they're paid to do. You know, so when you're paid, and look, and I know you want to talk about Rashford later, but he's been hammered. He's been hammered by Amorim. His attitude's rubbish in training. Sancho, attitude rubbish in training. Garnacho's attitude was rubbish in training. Amorim says he's changed it. You know, all these players who have let the fans down, let the teammates down, the attitude has been the issue. So I'm not saying Højlund's got a bad attitude, but I'm saying he hasn't got the right attitude at this point in time to be able to go and transform his career. Because he's 21, 22, 23 years old, however he is. He's going to live or he's going to die at Manchester United. Why did you fail at Manchester United? Oh, I didn't like that. Well, grow the fuck up. Grow up. You're a grown man in the greatest football club on the planet. Grow up. Don't get dragged. Jarvis, don't get dragged off the pitch because you haven't had a shot on goal. Don't get dragged off the pitch because you haven't done anything meaningful. Have 10 shots on goal, miss. Who cares? At least you're trying. Do something to warrant your position. It's not happening right now. It just isn't. Look, if ever I get taken off, it's huge embarrassment for me. And I take it massively personally. And I go to the gaffer after.
I think every football player thinks that way. You're never happy when you're taken off.
What did you take me off
for? Just the way it is.
Well, you went at your best today. Right, well, okay, next week I'm going to be at my best. I'm going to make sure for 90 minutes I'm concentrating. But it's either application, it's attitude, it's something. He's got this mental block and it's something. And he's got to come out of the team for a good 3 to 4 weeks, I think, Højlund. He's got to take him out of the firing line. But
use
the
him as,
problem
as an impact sub, maybe, or
I wouldn't even play him. I'd take him out the firing line for 4 weeks and I'd rest him for 4 weeks. He's got to get his head straight, and the club need to talk to him. The club need to work with him, and the club has got to help him because it's just not working. If you, Jarvis, if you can remove Rashford out of the system because he's a pain in the arse, then move Højlund out. He just isn't doing. The problem is, Jarvis, we're not going to miss him.
No.
And that's a big problem. We're not going to miss him.
No, I don't think so.
That's the issue. And we're not exactly going to score goals with Xerxes either. But that's, Xerxes is offering something different. We've gone through time and time again, match after match, tactical show after tactical show, about his lack of bullying the centre halves, about his lack of movement in the middle, about his lack of aggression, about his lack of awareness, his surroundings, his runs are always wrong. If we can see it, Jarvis, why can't he see it?
Yeah.
So I do think they're lazy. I do think modern day footballers are lazy. There are a few out there that aren't. Cole Palmer, for one, and Virgil van Dijk, these players, Robinson from Fulham, Harry Wilson. You can tell these aren't lazy players because, most of the Brighton and Bournemouth teams, but they're earning fractions of what our guys are earning.
Yeah.
Højlund probably went from $5,000 a week to $100,000 a week. It changes.
Yes. The money changes everything, and the fame, and all the followers. Suddenly, you go from 500 followers to
5 million,
50,000 followers overnight. So yeah, I think that's a big issue. I just want to say, when it comes to Højlund, I read today that he was linked to someone that we were supposedly going to maybe try to load him off even now in January. There was some Italian clubs. I'm searching Twitter now. People in the chat, bring out the link if you have it. Yeah.
It was AC Milan and Juventus. AC Milan and Juventus. But
do you think it's the right time now to offload him and just get rid?
No.
Have you seen enough?
No, I don't think it's the right time. I think there is something in there with Højlund. I really do. There's something in there. You don't go, well, maybe we do, perhaps. I don't know. But ideally, you don't go and look at a player and then all of a sudden he's not what we need. I think eventually he will be there. I think he's a really, really, could be a really, really good player. But right now, you've just got to take him out of the equation. You've got to play a false 9 in there rather than a top man. You've got to play a false 9 in there. You've got to stick, or you've got to do something. I don't know. Who you would put up there?
This is the thing I was talking about that I read. It says breaking: Man United are prepared to sell Rasmus Højlund if they receive a suitable offer, either in this window or in the summer. AC Milan and Juventus are interested, and there's also interest from the Bundesliga, according to Mark Ogden. That's usually a reliable journalist from the ESPN.
That's okay. That's fine, but you're going to dick about then trying to find a striker in the last week of the window. It's just stupid. Where's the logic in that?
Yeah, Neil Driscoll comes in and just say play Bruno at 9.
Yeah, you could play Bruno at the 9. Yeah.
But the false 9 doesn't suit this Amorim system. We need a target spearhead striker who can actually attack the diagonals.
We're talking about this. We were talking 2 weeks ago about the Garnacho Osimhen deal. Okay. We're talking about getting Osimhen in for 6 months. Whether Osimhen wants to come to us or not, we don't know. We still can't shift out Rashford, and we can't move out Garnacho if Garnacho wants to go. There's a big problem there. 2 weeks, 3 weeks with Rashford, and we can't move them because he's waiting for Barcelona, supposedly.
Yes.
And Barcelona, they need to get rid of their biggest earners. But you got Frankie de Jong, who's putting in miracle performances at the moment. Barcelona made 6 changes yesterday or the day before and beat Valencia 7-1.
Yes.
Frankie de Jong scored. This is happening. There was no Dani Olmo in the side. Where's Rashford going to fit in there? He's not going to displace Lamine Yamal, is he?
No.
He's not going to displace Rafinha. He's not going to displace Lewandowski. You know,
and another thing that people haven't talked about, how is he going to suit the system?
Yes, no, that's what I actually think he'd be okay at Barcelona.
The German manager, he plays the gegen press football.
He does. I think he'd be okay.
And you talk about Rasmus Højlund being lazy.
Yeah, no.
What are you calling Rashford?
Oh, fucking hell. No, but here's the thing. If he's staying, get him back in the team. Tell him, tough bollocks, you can cry who you fucking like. You're playing Saturday. And you better put a performance on, because if you don't, I'm going to hang you out to fucking dry Thursday and Sunday and Saturday again. I'm going to hang you out to dry, and then we'll let the fans tell you what they think. You can't. Why are we bowing down to footballers? We've been doing it for years. Why are we bowing down to these idiots?
But the thing, we are not. Ruben Amorim is not.
No, he's not. And he's
what he said about the reserve goalkeeper, we will talk about it later, but I think that was a brilliant comment. Brilliant comment from
He's getting criticism from all the ex-players. Oh, you can't do that to footballers. Yes, you can.
He can. I just want to say hi. Hold that thought, Stu. I like your intensity right now. I know you have a good opinion when it comes to this. How do you pronounce his name, Jens? Simex?
Yeah, Simex. Yeah, Simex.
Yeah,
Simex.
Yeah. He's at work right now, so he can't jump on. We have Neil Driscoll in the house evening, and who else do we have? We have Matthew coming in, Mark Davis, Wootinator, big up Wootinator, so good to see you here. Riot V is in the house. Yes, Riot, good to see you. And Ahmad is free from Tenharam is here, coming in and give me the heads up on the Mark Ogden. And Nas M87 is saying, I think Højlund lacks confidence, so we resort to bully ball, and defenders welcome that. Confidence means seeing the game at the speed where it's slowed down and you are one step ahead. Yes.
Yeah,
he always looks like he's one step behind, actually, every time he plays. And now he looks even worse. We have Lightning coming in, big up. He say, I'm not the biggest Højlund fan, but can you really improve with the game every third day? Do footballers have time? And what's the schedule like? And I think that's a good point. As Stu always said, we have to take him off at least for 4 weeks, get some distance, something, reset, and start over again, because he's in a blind alley at the moment, and he doesn't seem to get himself out of it.
Yeah, that's right, but he's not helping himself. You know, no. we know he's not helping himself, and I think, you know, there should be a lot of unhappiness around the players, around the coaching staff, around the management, around his agents. But it depends who he's surrounding himself with as well. You know, people are like Rashford, surrounding himself with people who are saying, "Oh, you're amazing, you're this, you're that." By the way, I could do with 10 grand off you, please. You know, oh, there you go, no problem. And you're getting around. You know, Paul Gascoigne, one of the finest English footballers in this position.
Gassa.
You know, getting pissed up with Chris Evans every weekend, and look where he is now.
Yeah.
You know, there are issues, and there have been issues for years around footballers and people getting into this kind of inner circle that they've got, and they are manipulating them, and you are seeing players and people who just don't care anymore. Rashford is in that thing where he doesn't care. If we're not careful, you're going to lose Højlund. I'm not saying to the extent as Rashford, you're just going to lose him because his mind won't be able to cope with playing football as a whole, not just for Manchester United. But we don't know this because, you know, he probably isn't said, but he's probably scared stiff to walk out at this point in time because he doesn't know what he's going to do. He's got no preconceived idea on how the match is going to be, how it's going to go, and how he's going to affect the game. And you need to have some kind of idea. You know, I talk about meetings all the time. You do talk. You talk about the way that you want to play, the way you come together as a unit. Congest the pitch. We talk about it all the time, don't we? Suffocate teams. Højlund's got to be able to be a part of that. He's got to be.
Stu, from a sorry to cut you off. I just want to say hi to Johnny K first. He say this is the issue with Rashford and people around him. I'd be very surprised if he ends up at Barcelona and they think he's better than he actually is. It would be bad if he doesn't get a loan. Yes, it would. Sam Meeks.
Thank you.
Sorry for slating your name, Sam Meeks. Big up.
Normally me that does it, to be fair.
Yeah. And who else? Yes, we have Abdaziz Mohammed coming in and say big up everyone, and it's so good to see the people are tuning in.
Yes.
And Ifiok Udofia coming in and say regarding our last game, Bruno is without a doubt our best playmaker. Developing him deep doesn't allow him to dictate play from his preferred advanced position, and that's why we couldn't create chances. Yes, I think I actually agree with that comment. That's another topic, but I think we can give Bruno a couple of minutes. So for me, when it comes to Højlund, because for me now Højlund is becoming a kind of a problem, and we need to get something better out of him. And I think Bruno sits with one of the keys to unlock Højlund, get him more involved, because when we talk about football and we have to go into the basics. How can you be better? And I think we have to fix the midfield supply chain up to Højlund, because we saw yesterday against Fulham was a lot of long balls from Onana up to Højlund. Højlund was packed in between Thunderbirds and Andersen, the Danish centre back, and he was helpless. He was out muscled, outnumbered, and he couldn't do anything. So in a way, I think the midfield supply chain with Bruno could be one of the solutions, and also utilizing the width better with wingers that actually cross early into Højlund when he's starting his run, instead of cutting inside and taking their time on the ball, because I think Højlund has the pace to beat his striker, but it's all about timing, and he doesn't seem to get the timing right. So we have to make it easier. Like, give the ball on the first movement always, because then it's easy for Højlund. He doesn't need to do anything. And also when it comes to transitions, I think he was better when he played on the Ten Hag, because we were better at transitions. Now we seem to hold on to the ball and just rest with the ball and then go into attack. It doesn't transist at the same level as we did on the Ten Hag, and that I think Højlund struggles a little bit with that.
I think his problem is, and he should have rectified this in the summer, and I've spoken about it before. When you've got two wingers that are quicker than you, you have to work in unison. You have to, in training, work in unison. You time each player 100 meters. What it is, just say Garnacho's 13.2 seconds, Ahmad's 13.6 seconds, but Højlund's 13.9 seconds. Okay,
yes,
so he's slower than them. So you've got to work in a way where you can get your trajectory together, so that Højlund is always ahead of Garnacho and always ahead of Ahmad. But he's not. He's never ahead of them. He's always behind them. And I've said to you before on many occasions, that when you get into a foot race with somebody, if they are quicker than you and they are 5 yards ahead of you, they'll remain 5 yards ahead of you, whatever you do. But even if you put the afterburners on, you got rockets on your back, they're going to be 5 yards ahead of you. So you've got to eradicate those 5 yards.
Yes.
He needs a sprint coach. We spoke about this last season, Jarvis. He needs a sprint coach. He needs to go in there. He needs somebody who's getting there. He needs to be explosive over 10 yards. If you get that explosiveness over 10 yards, you'll be quicker than the centre half, more than likely. You'll definitely be quicker than Garnacho, and the same with Ahmad, because he's so deep, and he's got And he doesn't really know how to find space as well between the two centre halves or between the fullback and the centre half. Even if he was in that catchment area 14 as we like, but actually further in, he should be further. We should be further in.
Yes, it's not his job to be in area 14. That's the midfielders coming in, the second wave. Yeah,
he needs to be in the penalty spot. If he's there, then fine. You're going to miss 5 chances, but who cares? You've taken 5 chances. You've had a go at 5 chances. He's not even getting a chance again at the minute. And when he does, he's fluffing his lines because he's not getting enough chances again. But he's not helping himself because he's not making the runs. You know, when we spoke about, I wish we could pull the clip up. It'd be great if we could pull the clip up. Maybe Jay can do this for us. But when we spoke about the Liverpool back four, and you made a really good point about their angle. And I said to you, that's absolutely fine, brilliant. But Højlund's got to get on the shoulder of Van Dijk. He's got to get on the shoulder, and he's got to pull him, and he's got to make Van Dijk mark him. And once you've got a defender trying to mark you, then you can start moving getting your movement in. If he's behind Van Dijk, say Van Dijk says behind him, Van Dijk won't know till the very last second, and it's too late. The Højlund's gone. The cross comes in. Højlund, he's got a chance. He's not even doing that. And I'm wondering, and we're talking about our wingers, Garnacho, Matsari, Dalot, and we're talking about Ahmad. They don't cross the ball, maybe because they know there's fuck all in there anyway.
Yeah. You're
crossing into dead space. You're not actually crossing into somebody in the box. Now, you can count on one hand how many times Højlund's arrived at the penalty spot at the right time. One hand. You should be counting on 2 like that. He should be constantly pushing. I don't know what they're doing in training, Jarvis. I don't get it. You can work on the Amorim system, and I understand it. You have to work on the system. But I don't understand what he's doing and why you can't see what he's not doing. And I'm starting to get a bit frustrated with it now, because I'm not a striker, Jarvis, but even I know where to be. I know where to be in the box. I know exactly where to be in the box.
Yeah.
You know, the most dangerous part for a centre half is a striker pushing on your shoulder, playing last man, you trying to catch him offside, him leaning to get the right angle for the for a start. It's terrible.
I think this is the right clip. This is the clip we talked about when it was about Højlund's movement, because you see Højlund here in this frame, and
too slow. He's too slow there for a start. I'd be 10 yards up. I'd be on Van Dijk.
Yes.
Look at Van Dijk. He's jogging. Look at him. Because Højlund's not pressing him. Wrong move. You see.
Yes.
There you go. Terrible.
So yeah, but that wasn't the clip we were talking about. But that was also a good example of what Højlund can do better.
Yeah,
he can improve his runs.
He should be sprinting, Jarvis.
Yeah, but we also saw that yesterday. But it come down to his defensive play, and Sander Berge, he had so much time in that midfield. He was able to turn with the ball, face forward, and pass the ball in breaking line passes. And Højlund just jogged beside him. He didn't even press him.
Yeah, I think we showed one last night, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, where he went, Sandberg had the ball and he just whistled, got his violin out, had a bit of a play, and then passed the ball up. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Let's see if I can find it. I want to see it again, because that was actually terrible from Højlund.
It was woeful. It was woeful.
Woeful. Yes, that's the right word. Where is it? Yeah, I can see it. I can find it here. It was mostly Fulham attacks yesterday, so it shouldn't be that. Yeah, here it is. Do you see it? No, it's not on screen. Sorry if I keep you waiting.
Yeah, you're not putting it on screen.
Okay, so here we go.
That's it. There you go.
Take it back again. So here you see Højlund and Sander Berge.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Watch Berg here. Oh, I'll just give it a quick flick up. You know, he's got no problems, no time, because Højlund's not doing anything. He's just walking around, and look where they are. Look where they end up with by one simple ball in from Sanderberg.
Yeah.
And everything. I mean, it's a shot, isn't it, from Awaby? But anything could have happened. You've got to be able to stop that there. Højlund's got to be in there quickly.
In this situation, he should. I don't know what is he doing. It's like trying to fix his armband or anything.
I don't know. He knows where the ball's going.
You know, with the shoelaces up. You know, he's focused on something else. He's on the pitch.
Yeah, you know. And then look at Awaby. Awaby's completely run off everybody. It's terrible. And I can't see that Amorim's not talking about these guys. You know, to the guys on Monday. You know, today, I can't believe he's not talking to them about it. He must be, you know, talking to these guys and saying, look, this is fucking unacceptable.
Yeah, we got to be honest. You know, we were lucky yesterday. We were really lucky. In 9 out of 10 games with the same play, we would have lost that game. Or
100%.
Yeah.
And you know, who's to say we don't deserve a bit of luck? You get luck in football all the time. Who's to say we didn't deserve that? But you're right, Welsh girl. He doesn't get the service, but you know, potentially the lads aren't putting the cross in because they know he's not going to be there anyway. In fact, if you look at Garnacho now, he very rarely goes across goal. He comes back.
Yeah.
He tries to cut back pass, doesn't he, all the time?
A lot of people coming in. A SC4 team comes in. I see Dave is here.
Yes.
A lot of people tuning in. Rush Mano is in the house. He comes in and say, smash the like for the guys and subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
we're on the way to 500, getting monetized. That's our next objective. And we are on 30 likes according to the Routinator. So big up. And Twalumba Piri comes in and say big up Stu and Jarvis and the chat.
Twalumba.
Yes. I don't know if we should talk anymore about Højlund. I think we have covered most of it. But for me, when it going forward, I want to see more from Højlund. I want to see better hold-up play. I want to see that he can hold off his man. I want to see him actually receiving the ball and controlling the ball while he's controlling the man at the same time. You know, doing two things at the same time. A lot of people say that men can't do that, multitask, but I think we can. So,
a decent footballer can.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. So small improvements. Go back to basics. Do the things that you know you can do. No, don't try to overreach. Don't try to be. Yes,
learn something. You know, I always say to my son, learn something new every day. Whatever you're doing, try and learn something new every day.
Yes. So what did you learn today, Stu? Did you learn anything?
What did I learn today? Yeah, I learned a lot today that I could have strangled fucking campaign monitor. But anyway, we'll leave that for another day. It's a work thing, guys. That's what I've learned today. And that little tiny things upset a well-run machine.
Twalumba Piri comes in and say no creativity.
Yes.
Yes. And I think creativity comes when you're not asked to do a specific task, but I think Amorim now is working really hard to get them to do what he wants. And when you have your head full of instructions, you lose your creativity. So I think this is one of the reasons, but the creativity will come back when the movement of this system is second nature for these guys. So that's why things takes a little bit time.
Yeah, I agree with that, pal.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go to the next subject. Let's move on from Højlund, because we saw Amorim's comment yesterday. I want to bring this up, and we can talk about it. So the Amorim said in the interview, he said the reason is the training and what a footballer should do in life. It's every day, every detail. It's the same situation for every player. If you do the maximum and the right things, we can use every player. You could see today that on the bench we missed a little bit of pace to change the game, but I prefer to like that. I will put Jorge Vital, the goalkeeper coach, before a player who doesn't give the maximum every day. I will not change in that department. Strong words from Ruben Amorim.
Yes.
And we all know who he was referring to.
Yes. Our good old friend Mr. Rashford. Look,
Yes.
I like that. I mean, a lot of pundits, a lot of ex-players have come out and said, no, he shouldn't be saying stuff like that. He's too critical, etc., etc., etc. Whereas I'm totally against it. I want him to come out and name these players that have let the club down for so many years. For me, being a go-to player for your country, to not even getting a sniff of playing for your country, and for that not to bother you, it's an absolute travesty, in my opinion. If you don't want to play for Manchester United, it's absolutely fine. Go somewhere. Don't sit around. Do something. And if you train hard, train your hardest. Don't let anybody ever be in a position to criticize you. That's what you do in life. You should be above reproach. Everybody should be. If you're lazy, then people around you are lazy. And then your children will become lazy. And their children will become lazy because it's ingrained in them. And I doubt that Marcus Rashford is lazy. Where is the Marcus Rashford that was campaigning for school meals 3 years ago? Where's all that gone? Where's he disappeared to? Surely an extra $100,000 a week hasn't changed his lifestyle. It's made no difference to him when you're on $200,000 a week anyway. What the hell's another $100,000 a week going to do? Makes zero difference to your life. Where is that person that absolutely couldn't wait to pick up a football every morning and go out and play? Go to Manchester United training after school 2-3 times a week. Get your scholarship. Go through the youth ranks. Be proud to wear the badge. Where's that gone? Where is that player? Where is that person? The club have allowed this to happen over a period of time. They would have seen the decline in his personality internally. It's not Amorim. They would have seen it under various managers that he's played. And I think Ole Solskjaer, when he was removed that time, I made it clear that Rashford was one of those players who just didn't want to go back out. Why have we allowed this to happen? Why have we allowed a homegrown player to disintegrate in front of our eyes? Why is this club allowing it to happen? And the club has to take a huge amount of responsibility. He has to take a huge amount of responsibility. And the club should do something about it. They shouldn't allow this idiot to not train. They shouldn't allow this idiot to not be the very, very best for what he is, because he the more this goes on, the less of a man he becomes. He becomes an infant child again. He may as well be 8 years old again, because you become this infant child, and he's got to do something to eradicate this behavior immediately. Get rid of the people around him, whoever it is. Get rid of them and do something. Now, does he need to go to rehab? Has he got mental issues? Does he need to go to rehab for a week?
There will be speculations from our side because we don't know all the facts into it. But it seems like the footballing people can't solve Rashford's problem at the moment. It looks like it. And I think he has been giving many chances, and I think we have tried the approach with the hand on the shoulder and to help him, but he doesn't seem to care. And
we've had this issue with Jadon Sancho. The club is allowing this to happen. These
we are enabling this kind of behavior.
We're enabling this behavior.
Yes.
And when you enable this behavior, other people think they can do it. But, look at Mason Mount. injured again. No sign of him. We haven't seen him for 18 months, hardly seen him. Where's he been? And he's getting away with it time and time again. He's not got a stomach for the fight. I don't care what he says. He'll tell you. Luke Shaw, I don't care what Luke Shaw tells you. There's no stomach for the fight from any of these players. You know, Rashford, if Rashford was injured, he'd stay injured for a year probably, because he's got no stomach for the fight. Sancho just couldn't be bothered. None of these players can be bothered. That they because we don't have this leader in there. Because I surely Harry Maguire should be saying to him, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? We need you. We need you training. We need you at your very, very best. You can get us a goal. We need you, Marcus. We need you to come back in, grow up, get rid of the people around you, and do something." We've got too many of these wasters in the club. You know, Phil Jones.
Preaching to the choir. Yes.
Phil Jones was another one. He comes out after saying, "Oh, you didn't know what I was going through," and all this kind of bollocks and all that. Well, you didn't tell anybody. You didn't come out and let people know what you were doing. So people thought you were stealing a living from Manchester United. They probably still do. Luke Shaw, I'm sick. I'm just tired. I'm tired of him, Mason Mount, Rashford, Sancho. I'm tired of these players. At least Malacia has come back and he's having a go.
Yeah,
whether he's the player that we think he'll be, he's coming back and he's having a go, and that's key for me.
We have visitors, Stu, but I just want to say big up to the chat. A lot of people have a opinion about Rashford, and I want to bring on Cass from Never a Foul and MUFCxKas. So big up. Good to have you on, Cass. Big up.
So
we are discussing. Yeah, long time. It's been a hot minute, but. We are talking about Rashford and the statement from Amorim yesterday when you heard that when he talked about the reserve goalkeeper, he would rather play him than Rashford.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that?
Not much, to be fair, that we don't already know.
Okay.
I think it's just. I think he's getting baited by the press now. You know, like they're getting there these headlines, as you would say, and I think he's not real. Maybe he does realize, or he doesn't realize, or he just doesn't care overall anymore. But for me, it's just like I don't know why a journalist has to ask him so many questions about Rashford, like we don't already know. Yes, he's not in the matchday squad. 100%. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Fabrizio Romano, we don't need to know that. We know he's not in the matchday squad. Do you know what I mean? Like. He's the one that decided he wants a new challenge. He's the one that said and came out with what's it called? Is it James Ducker, I believe, and whatnot, and said he wants to leave. So whilst he wants to play good boy on the outside, just let him do that. Then let him cheer on the team. Get on with your lives. But obviously that doesn't work in football these days. I just don't. Clearly, there's other issues. Whether it's the club trying to force him out, and they've told Amorim like this guy's got to go regardless. We're that much in the mud that we can't be affording his wages. He's got to go, or simply it's just that he doesn't like his overall work ethic in and outside of football. Nothing more to it. It's boring now, isn't it? Don't you lot just look at a Rashford headline and think, yeah, that's boring. Going to Barcelona, oh, that's boring. Yeah.
But I want to focus on Amorim, because for me, I think it's refreshing to have a manager who actually calls these things out, because we have seen Ten Hag, we have seen all the managers and the club protecting players that's not doing their best. So I think it's refreshing to have a manager that actually speaks the truth, and I think it's good for us fans, because we're struggling now and we need this. We need a manager that's honest in his assessment.
I agree. Yeah. I love the honesty. We've got basically the new version of Jose Mourinho at this point, and I'm here for it.
Even parks the bus going away to Fulham.
Oh, so be it. You know, United fans need to decide: do you want results? Do you want performances? Because you're not going to get both, pretty much, for that long. I'm not fussed. What's this update?
Yeah, there's an update. Rashmano just sent me this. I can bring it on screen. So first of all, is this from Fabrizio Romano coming in and say, understand Man United's new official bid for Patrick Drogu will be suitable in the next 24 to 48 hours. And this comes out from Dalmesh. They say positive talks between Manchester United and Lecce over Patrick Drogo continue today. Growing belief that the deal can be struck. Fee under the discussion in the region of 30 million pounds or euros. And United prepared to walk away if overall package is not right, but willingness to get it done. So Patrick Drogo seems to be happening. Are you excited about Drogo?
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, the profile, yeah. I'm not gonna say and act like I'm an expert. I ain't seen much of him. I've seen as much as you guys.
You've seen cameos.
Yeah.
Cameos.
I watched the 8 minute and 30 all actions against who is it? Inter Milan. I was like, yeah, you know what? I like this guy. His defensive capabilities look a bit up and down. He looks all right, but I don't want him for that. I want him for everything else going further forward, like taking on player. He looks like he's rapid. You know, and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just excited for new signings. I'm not gonna lie. I need that dopamine. I'm starving. I'm hungry. I'm tired of watching Delo week in, week out, and all the rest of the crew as well. And Højlund. Oh my word! Do not get me started on that kid.
We just had the Højlund debate right before you came in. But if you have anything you want to add to Højlund and his latest performances, he had less shots than Aaron Wan-Bissaka this season. I think he's on 12 shots through the whole season.
Oh, no, he's awful, isn't he? No, he's awful. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's probably not his fault because he's got no one to learn off of. He's coming for big money and whatnot. But you know, you should have a good team around you to know that maybe you should have stayed at Atalanta then and developed. Because it's just he's not good. He's not good. I don't believe in him. I saw reports potentially about if a bid came in for him, roughly there's they would listen to a sale in the summer or even now. Not happening. He needs to go away somewhere for like 2 seasons and on a loan maybe and learn his craft like every other young player. But then you think, oh, I've got a 60 million to 70 million potential player on loan out somewhere else. Good old United.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you saw this, but we played this clip yesterday and we brought it up 5 minutes ago, but I will show it to you anyway because this is Højlund and his defensive work. This is, I think it's Sander Berge who's on the ball, and look at Højlund here, how he works. He's just jogging, not doing anything, and Sander Berge is just bringing the ball.
I think that's the same thing we used to go on to Rashford about, no?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's terrible.
Yeah. And we got to listen to flipping Goldemore over there, the United bitch, and flipping talk about that he gets no service and the rest of it. I don't want to hear none of that crap. Like this is double standards here. No, but it's weird because a year ago you'd watch him against like his first few cameos. He's all upbeat, excited, getting about, and then now it's a whole different ball game. Like England's not a joke.
No.
Yeah.
But do you think he can come good then? Do you think Højlund? Because we heard rumors today that Juventus and AC Milan was sniffing for Højlund, and we are actually willing to sell him, according to Mark Ogden.
I see reactionary like the nowism basically will tell me no, but I do believe like Garnacho, like himself, I think they're solid players or can become solid players, but probably just not in the Premier League. Just somewhere else. I think it's the Premier League. You got to have pretty much all the tools these days. Every team has got a player that can do everything in each position. Pretty much, they're fast, they're technical. They got IQ. Like even the most average of sides, have got a good stand of players and a good blend. Maybe we just need better players as well. No, we do need better players. And he might get a bit more service, but it's like you even make the poorest of runs. It makes no sense for me.
Yeah.
Like I saw Garnacho yesterday. He was in twice, in behind. A good IQ type of striker will flick it round, and then Garnacho's in 1-on-1. It's just a little bits like that. How can you lose the ball 10 times as a Manchester United number 9 in one half?
his hold-up play is terrible, and especially when it comes long from Onana, he's like a fish on land. He can't do anything against two centre-backs, and especially when Sander Berge yesterday, by the way, I think he was brilliant for Fulham. He was the one that we should have got this summer. Sander Berge, I think he was the man of the match for Fulham at least, and how he shielded the centre-backs. He was in front and the centre-backs was behind, and Højlund was stuck. He couldn't do anything. He was out-muscled. He was outsmart, outnumbered in every duel. And when the ball comes long from Onana, he's alone. There's nothing he can do. And especially when his hold-up play is that terrible as it is, because when you receive the ball, you have to be able to control the defender, and then you have to control the ball. With Højlund, it's the other way around. He tries to control the ball while getting pushed over by the defender, and that's why his technique looks terrible. He doesn't have the right technique in these situations.
It's just a lack of IQ, isn't it? I know. I think most people who've played a decent standard of football knows how to use your body to hold up the ball. You'll draw a foul. He doesn't even know how to do that. I do believe Anthony Taylor was a little bit harsh on him sometimes, though. He did get ragdolled, and I'm thinking, that's not a foul there. That's impossible, But they don't like giving us decisions anymore. So gotta get used to it, I suppose.
Yeah. Speaking about decisions, we talked a little bit about the VAR situation. I mean, I left a comment on your channel yesterday about the VAR incident on Ahmad. So what's your thoughts on that particular situation?
I don't want to act like an Arsenal fan, right? We won the game. Let's just move on in it. But it's like, you look at the blue line here. You know how it's obviously an angle. Look at the blue line that's obviously on the defender. Now go watch the red line. How look at the difference. I don't think you can zoom in. I'm not too sure, right? It's just look how wonky that red line. Oh my god, no, the one that's actually there's a line that goes up to the arm. Look at the red line that goes up to Ahmad's arm. You're telling me that's not doing the maddest of curves?
Yes.
Please, look, there's even a dent. Look, there's a curve. Look, I'm telling you now, right? Near Ahmad's arm, there's a little curve on the red line. Please, anyone can see it. Can anyone see it? Am I blind? Am I Stu? Can you? Nice to meet you, by the way.
Yeah, you too, fella.
Am I? Oh my goodness.
No, we deduced yesterday that it was onside, and there's no way it should have been given off. It's terrible, absolutely terrible decision. But the thing is, we have Keith Hackett on our show, and we were chatting to him today, and he sent us a couple of bits and pieces with regards to
Keith Hackett. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. That's big, old referee.
Yeah. And so he sent me a message today about the Arsenal one, and that I think he'll be back on once in a week or two. We're going to talk about these types of decisions and where it's going wrong with VAR, because it's such a big fucking problem that is for us. It really is. And you're right. We win the game 1-0. 2-0 would have, 1-0 flattered us, really, didn't it? 2-0 probably would have flattered us, but it doesn't really matter. The letter of the law, nobody understands that part anymore. Nobody understands the law in handball, in offside anymore. Because ultimately, guys, his arm, if you take it by the tip of his finger on his right arm, Ahmed's onside by 2 yards, but it isn't. It's this part here that they take it from.
Upper shoulder area. But where's I asked that question yesterday, Stu. Where is the upper shoulder area?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, because let's put it this way. If you're a Dharma Traore, he's on. That's the issue. That's how daft football is. Because Traore's muscles are fucking huge. So his wingspan or his chest span is a lot bigger than that was Anderson, wasn't it? I think. So he's on if it's a Dharma Traore, but he's off. Yeah. This is the complexity of it. So we're going to get into that with Keith for sure.
So did you redo the lines yourselves?
No. Those are what we got from. Well, we won't say where we got them from, will we? but it's Jarvis's TV. It's Jarvis's TV with the curve. But ultimately, it should never have been given offside. Now, do you remember a couple of games ago? I think it was the It's the Champions League. Just put this into context then. The amount of time that VAR took to rule off Ahmad's goal yesterday for offside, to the amount of time it took for the Champions League, it was PSG versus City, the Champions League VAR, to determine the difference between a blatant off-the-shoulder clearance or into the path, pass, so to speak, from the City player for the PSG player to score. There was 2 minutes. They took 2 minutes longer to not recognise that it come off the back of a City shirt, so he was never offside. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah. I don't know. You see here is a picture. I found this on Twitter today. It's a clearer picture, but you can see there's maybe 1 millimeter of offside on Ahmad.
This makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because
either.
why? Because what happened to the sleeve rule? I thought anywhere across your sleeve is deemed non-handball. So why is it gone to his armpit and not the edge of his sleeve? I don't understand that. So you would have to move that over, would you not?
And therein lies the issue. We don't know. None of us knows, and so we're gonna get into it with Keith, try and find out, and get a little bit more clarity, because it's just we haven't got a clue with Jarvis. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm struggling understanding the offside rules sometimes. But Keith Hackett mentioned the automated
why is that not happen?
system.
Why has that not happened? This is a little bit like, now I'm smelling like, what, we got to get used to it or something. No, it's called an automated system. You don't even need to do anything because you got an automated system. So is that not the whole point of non-human interference? Because it's in the name. First winter break, not here. Second winter break, not here. They haven't actually said when it's actually meant to be introduced, because it sounds like they've all got a bet over at PGMOL to help who they want to crown the champions potentially, because they got something going on. And you see Sky Sports deleting their clips because, like, oh wait, hold on, they're gonna find out that we're pretty much in cahoots with them now. And that's not going to get blown into proportion. That's just going to get swept under the carpet. Let the noise die down, isn't it? Funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah, we think it's probably going to be introduced to the World Cup before it goes to domestic leagues. But
Keith explained why it's not. It's because of the ball. In the Premier League, we use the Adidas ball. In Europe, they use the Nike ball. And the Nike ball,
other way around.
Oh, it's the other way around. Yeah.
But Adidas
has the sensors.
It's got the sensor and the chip in it. The Nike ball doesn't. And as of next year, Premier League's going to Puma balls, and they don't have the chip either yet.
But Puma was like one of the first for technology. No,
correct.
So what's the issue?
The issue is this chip. It's whatever chip is in the Adidas ball. It's talking to this particular automated system that is going to be rolled out in the next World Cup, and that's the system. It's a conversation issue.
That's that. You're telling me that Nike, Puma, Adidas, whatever, they couldn't just here's a new set of balls. Pause. Sorry. This is a growing conversation. I forgot. I'm not talking with kids, and they can just not put a chip in it of some sort. That would be where we're at with it. But yeah, the stupidity based about that is ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely. No two ways about it. This is insane.
Yes.
This is insane. You know what? Whatever. We can complain as much as we like. Nothing's going to change. Not anything's going to change. So might as well just get on with it, right? As they say.
Trevor weighed in with the old crinkle cut chip joke. What a beaut. Well done, Trev. Good to see you, mate. He's a legend. Absolutely. Mark's in the house. Mark Nurse in the house as well.
Yes, big up, Mark. Big up. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah,
big up, Mark. Long time before you was giving me grief when I was being negative on Ten Hag and the rest. He was on to me. Yeah, I took a long time to be Ten Hag outright compared to others.
You did.
I even tried to give him a chance when Ineos came in and gave him some players. It only took me 4 games to be like, yep, I'm done. I'm done. Or 3, should I say. The Liverpool game was like, nah, I don't want him no more.
Nah. No, well, we don't want to. We're gonna rip out off that old band-aid with the Ten Hag debate anymore. I think we're done with that as Man United supporters. But we've seen we haven't done better with Amorim results-wise. I think we are basically at the same level. So for me, it tells me that it goes down to the quality of the squad, and we all know it. We are not good enough. So who knows what Ten Hag could have done with a better squad? Although half of the squad was his, but we don't know. Who brought in those players again, and was it his first choice, second choice, 10th choice?
Let's not act like his tactics weren't all over the gaff, like you absolutely drowning Cobby, overplaying players and whatnot. They're not even suited to their roles. But you wanted Mount, I can't. That man's a disgrace, man. That man's a disgrace. He abandoned every principle that we thought he was going to bring. Oh, it's insane. It's insane. I don't know.
But I suspect, Cass, that when Ten Hag takes over another club, I think he will succeed.
That's the maddest part. And that maybe that does come down to the recruitment. Obviously, everything stairs. I'm pretty sure he might take over Dortmund. They'll be wicked, like, to watch some football, because they got some good technical players, young players. And it's less demanding than in the Premier League. It's just like coaches come to the Premier League and have to change ultimately.
Yeah. But that's a good thing with Amorim. He seems very stubborn. He's very steady when it comes to his tactics.
I love it. I love it. I'm not one of them that I don't believe you would be on the Amorim out train and the reactionary train. You can criticize the guy's selections and sometimes whatever, like any manager, but for me it's absolutely insane that everyone says, oh, it's a free back, it's because of the formation, it's because of this. I'm thinking, well, most teams build up in threes at the back. They just have their wingers higher and wider, to touchline. It's just like there's no difference. For me, it's the guy doesn't even have a single signing in, and yet he's a problem. And I'm thinking, wait, you wanted honesty and absolute clarity on a manager being honest about a squad. And as soon as he does it, wait, hold on, it's about one of my favorite players. Oh, wait, hold on. Play FC's back out again. I can't stand it. Does my absolute nothing.
No, it's true. We've been talking about it, Kaz, as well. About that. You've got to judge him. Look, I was asked a question on the Q&A, wasn't I, about 2-3 weeks ago. And they said to me, how long do you think it'll take for Manchester United to win the league again? And I went 8 years. No, you're fucking off your head, blah, 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 blah. But you've got to actually consider where we are. You made a great point. A 3-4-3 is nothing new. A 4-4-2, nothing new. A 4-5-1, it's nothing new. They did it in the fucking 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Go back and watch your history. We've talked about it all the time. Getting the right players in the right position to enable the system to work. And we all know this. Anyone who's played football at a basic level will tell you. You might be best mates with somebody who's playing in your team, and he's nothing more than a sub. But you still want them around you. You still want players that you want around you can bring, and they can grow. Our lot don't grow. They can't give a fuck. This is my issue. So it will take us a long time, guys, to get anywhere where we need to be. And we've got to be in it for the long haul as fans. I've seen it all before. I'm a 70s child, Cass, so I'm old, mate. So, I went when I was 77 to my first ever game. I was 7.
So you've seen it. You've literally seen it all.
Yeah, I've lived through it, Kaz. I've seen it. I know. But I'm still here. 30-year season ticket holder, supporting the club because I love Manchester United. I love football. And I just want all our younger generation just to hang in there. Just hang in there because it will come good again. It really will.
Yeah, I'm on the same train. There's no reason why someone like Delo should fool your eyes to believing it's the manager's fault. You couldn't even score goals before with that front three. What do you think we're doing now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've got a spark in that man. That's all we've got going on for ourselves. Xerxes is a good footballer, but overall he's not a goal scorer.
Correct.
And our midfield is drowning because we need one piece in there, whether it's Ugarte, and now thankfully we've got Collier, who looks like he's going to be something decent and looks better than Ugarte in the first phase, I must admit. But doesn't mean we should just throw Ugarte or Carson to the side. I want to play both of them because I just want to. If we're crap, we might as well press teams into oblivion. Then I want to see Mainu. We got 5 or 4 minutes of Mainu in the left 10 and we instantly create 2 chances, not one, not the Ahmad one, another one. You know, why does it? Now this is my criticisms of Amorim. Why does it take? So us fans can see that Mainu's a 10, and that must mean they must be thinking about using him there potentially. But in a sense, because they like Bruno a little bit deeper. But why does it take him 3-4 games to think, yep, I'm going to try it now? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, come on, if we can see it, surely you can. You're the mastermind.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We actually touched on, I don't know if you saw last night's showcast, we actually touched on it. And we made him in the 10, myself, Jarvis, and the guys in the tactical room. But did you notice he migrates to an 8 again, doesn't he? He's almost a hybrid 8-10. Whatever you want to call it, 8.5, 9, it doesn't really matter. He's that hybrid 10. But when he does play in the 10, he's filled out this year. He's a bit more sluggish. I don't know whether you noticed, Cass. He's just a bit more sluggish.
Oh, we do this to every player, by the way. They have to put on size. They have to do this, and you're like, why?
And it happens. It does get you do get sluggish. It's your body. It's your natural reaction. So you'll see a much better, much more balanced Mainu. But I totally agree with. I mean, Jarvis, we were talking about last night. We think a 10, but he's got to be disciplined within that 10 if he does it. However, if you bring Ugarte and Collier to play in there, he's got that bit more kind of space and that to grow within that 10 period, because as you quite rightly say, you can have a nice intertwine between Collier and Ugarte in terms of pressing, in terms of winning the ball, and Collier can use the ball slightly better than Ugarte. He's a bit more cuter on the ball, and that will give mine it. Bruno, Ahmad, but then you got to take out the striker, which doesn't really matter at the minute because we don't necessarily have a striker. So maybe Bruno is.
My only thing, I know Collier and Ugarte means lack of progression, but I'm thinking, but we already have a lack of progression. So what's the difference between why don't this team just go back to basics? Collier and Ugarte keep it simple and basic. So I don't mind that. Go back to the basics then. See, honestly, if Dorgu comes in, and I would honestly be opting, you know what, Bruno and Mainu go be in the 10s. Let that means all that space behind, just let Collier and Ugarte clean up. Put Ahmad back on the wing, and I want him in a 10, but go put him on the wing. Put Dorgu on the other side. They can even swap. How about that? All of a sudden, we've got width, and legs, and it creates a lot more of an opportunity because we don't cross the ball enough because no one's in the box, and there's no one just. And there's only one player that really runs in behind, and unfortunately it is Bruno. And I don't particularly like Bruno Fernandes, but he's better when he's in front and inside the goal. Do you know what I mean? Not when he's building up. I don't want him there. He just gives the ball away anyways. So
you're right. I mean, it's what we spoke about at the beginning of the show. There is no one inside the box. That's why they don't cross the ball. But if you do that and we bring in Dorgu, by the way, fucking. Fabrizio's tweets, it's just lazy journalism.
He's sold himself out to the point it's not even transfer journalism no more. It's retweet, update, reword it, give it a buzzword, keep everyone, oh look, it's happening, but it's not happening, it's gonna happen, and then probably tweet about something they posted on Instagram or liked.
Yeah, it's supposed to bullshit. All this 20 if they've had a meeting today and you're gonna put your bid in maybe 24 to 40, fuck off. Anyone who knows anything about business knows you pop that bid in today and it's under consideration. But he's trying to eke it out for this extra. Look, I don't know enough about Dorgu either. I'm no Dorgu fan. Don't know him.
Experts,
yeah. All of a sudden,
anyone's better than the low, mate.
Well, that's it. And I think that when Jarvis will bring you what you want to do and put Mazzari into the back three.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to this, I can easily go with the double pivot of Ugarte and Collier. And okay, you lack some creativity. Who is going to get the ball into the attack? But I think we have to rely on the wide centre backs and for them to be the creators, the playmakers. And we can see that actually Lisandro, he can do it. And I would prefer Masraoui in the right wide centre back, because then we have 2 guys who can carry the ball into attack.
But then you got one issue then.
It's defensively, yes, but you have to rely on those two terriers in midfield to do the job.
Did you hear about Amorim describing Martinez today?
No.
No.
Yeah, so he talks about, which we all know, he talks about his ability, his ball playing ability, his passing ability. And he says he would almost be better suited further up the pitch to help Manchester United in their creativity. Which was quite interesting. Not those exact words, but that's what he was getting at.
But you know, Gonzalo Inacio for Sporting was doing the exact same role. By the way, he used to fly up and do the exact same thing we see Martinez doing the last 2 to 3 matches. By the way,
yes.
So it's not like it's nothing new. It's like he's just learning. This is what your job is.
Yes. So could you see Dorgo right, Martinez left, wing backs?
Who's that, Martin?
Yeah, I'm not saying that's what he's talking about. I'm saying there is a conversation now,
and he's got a pretty decent whip as well. You know what I mean? He's got a decent crossing him.
Martinez would be an absolutely terrific left wing back for us. He really would.
I don't think he's got the engine to do it though, Mike. I think that's the only thing that's going to lack. If you want to do a 1-2, you think he's going to run past a fullback? So imagine you come up against even if let's say just a lesser side, Veltman, Brighton. I don't think he's even running beyond him.
I agree.
His athleticism really lets him down. That's really annoying about him because you can't have him and Mazraoui in the same team at centre back. Like because if this another team's got a corner, we've got one centre back, and I don't want De Ligt there. And imagine you got Maguire there instead. I think Yoro's the best. Is going to be eventually our central centre back. I hope he takes the lead. I hope he takes that lead next season. But you can't have Mazraoui and Martinez in. I
agree with what you're saying, Kaz. I think you're right about his athleticism across the wide. He could give us something that that balance that we desperately need right now, and Dorgu would give us a balance on the right. It would be very, very evenly balanced. But it's what you do then moving forward, isn't it?
Yeah, we need outlets so much on the wings. It's like because the wing backs are the outlets, not just the striker. He's meant to be the guy that kind of helps everything and does a bit of everything. It's just it's the wide areas. It might even help. I think Dorgu on the left would actually really, because he's like 6'2". I think that hides a lot of and he's, you know what, he needs. I've seen him a couple of times when it does come to judging the ball in the air, when he comes to heading, he's awful. But it might help Martinez a lot because of how athletic he really is.
Yes,
that's why he's so important right now.
Yeah, which for us is amazing. But I would have preferred Premier League quality to come in.
Same.
Premier League proven. I'd have gone with Robinson personally, or
going
anyway.
to the team. I just want to ask if I got you right. You want Martinez left and Drogu to be the wing back in this side, and Mazraoui outside Euro in every game. And you think that will be the best combination with Ugarte and Collier centrally?
My only change right now, get Højlund right out of that team in my opinion.
Højlund, Bob.
I'm actually putting I would trust Euro to go centre, and I'm putting De Ligt out wide. I like aggression. I do like Maguire, but he slows everything down. And I think Amorim spoke on it today. When you defend a little bit, he says with Maguire, when you're defending a little bit lower, as in his words, obviously Maguire's amazing, but I want to get up the pitch. And I really like De Ligt out wide space. And I think I've seen Yoro's passing range is insane, and he likes to carry the ball as well. Put him in the middle. But he's a bit too young. I think he wants him to learn his craft out wide before going in the middle.
I agree.
Which makes sense.
He loses aerial ability because he's not strong enough.
It's that as well. I would say, and it's like a bit like Foden with Man City, right? He didn't put him in attacking mid straight away. He put him on the wing because the central areas are so important. You need your key players there. Do you get what I'm saying? You need experience in your spine. That's the only difference with Euro. But I mean, what have we got to lose at the moment? He's played there once. I wouldn't mind it again. I like De Ligt in the wide spaces because he's just really aggressive. And we saw against Southampton how that freed up Ahmad a lot itself just because of that aggression alone. Thought Euro was decent yesterday though. When he did come on, he looked a little more confident. His confidence was higher. And that's about that really. He needs to learn to play to the whistle a little bit more, because when Martinez is too busy pointing to the ball, and he's looking at Martinez, waving his arms, it's like, well, you just let Traore get a shot on goal. because you're losing focus now, and then but no head injury. Harry Wilson, Anthony Taylor's going to call that one though, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course.
But Cass, I just want to ask you this. Sorry, Stu. When it comes to the opposition, we have seen now in the last couple of games, the opposition they usually pin down our wing backs, so we play with the flat back five, and this has been the issue with the Premier League for Amorim, because he doesn't seem to find the answer how to solve this issue, because we get really pushed back because of this. When they pin back, we saw it against Newcastle, we saw it against, I think it was Southampton, other teams, Brighton, when they pin down our wing backs. So for me, I want to do it the other way. If Inzaghi in place in Inter, he has attacking centre backs, and they are allowed to roam in this area and go into attack. And you often see in an Inzaghi's Inter system that one centre back passes the assist to the other centre back who is in front of goal. So they are also contributing a lot into the attack. So I would say that the answer for the opposition when they pin back our wing backs, it will be that it frees up our centre back to go into attack. So that's why I would like a player like Martinez and Masraoui to be in those roles.
I hear it, but I saw one thing how to bypass that, and it was actually I saw it a lot of time yesterday. How many times did it go into Højlund's feet from Onana, and he lost it? I saw it with Edison against Chelsea. One ball. They tried to do the same thing to them, right? The same thing. Yeah, Vardio pin him back. I think Nunes tried to get him all the way back. Bernardo tried to drop very deep. One ball from Edison up to Haaland, and they're in the game. And it's like Chelsea couldn't do anything. That's why Onana is playing long ball for me at the moment. But Højlund can't hold it up. Xerxes can a lot better, but Onana's accuracy's got to be a lot better as well at the same time. And also, this is where Collier comes into play. Collier's just much more comfortable on the turns, and he's stronger. So that's why it's important. If you want to pin back the wing backs, it's like you can do that. But sometimes I'll be like, just leave them alone then. Just go up further up the pitch. You're going to have to make them think twice. Use them as outlets. So hence why, again, profile is the key word these days, the buzzword, right? Dorgu, ping it to him. I just saw a whole 8-minute and 50-minute clip of them Inter Milan players trying to press him, and he couldn't.
I don't know if you remember last season when Luton played in the Premier League. They played with the back three, but every time we tried to play them with high wingers, they just left their wing backs. They left them up high and forced the centre backs out. So they played man. So it can be done. Yeah,
I personally would. I don't mind being pinned back if there's a superior team and you have to hit them on the break. It's a bit like Sporting versus Man City, right? So it was in a 5-4-1 shape. It was quite obvious. And then before you know it, you got a 3-0 lead or 3-goal 3-goal lead on that part. It was that 4-1. I think things will change. As people just got to understand, we just don't have the squad. One player is not going to change much either. Like, yes, maybe we're going to have a lot more of a strong left side compared to the right hand side. It's just we really need two players this transfer window. I know Nkunku's linked on loan at the moment. I don't think it's going to get done though. I'll be real.
Decent. It'd be good for us on Nkunku.
I like Nkunku. I don't care what anyone says. I know my counterpart Mons, who I run Never a Foul, who calls him Clunky there. So I just think he's been used incorrectly.
Yeah, and he hasn't stayed fit either, to be fair, has he? But you're absolutely right.
He's been fit all season though.
Yeah. You're not going to get anywhere with Chelsea. This is the trouble, isn't it? The way
I don't like doing business with them.
No, he's a good player on Nkunku. I'd have taken him. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I really want Cunha. I don't want nobody else.
You're preaching to the choir there, pal. I was on here raving about him weeks ago. I'd have Cunha all day long.
Cunha is brilliant. I just want to read out this comment. It's really interesting from Samix. He comes in and say, when wing backs are pinned back at Sporting, Gyökeres would run into zone 18 and 16 for long balls. And I don't know how familiar you are with the zones, but 16 is here and 18 is here. So it will be almost like Gyökeres ran into this zone or this zone, and we played it long to him. So we pinned them down so they couldn't stay high with their wing backs because they were in trouble because of that. So Gyökeres's movement, Højlund's movement is very important into this because we need to utilize the long ball and force them back.
I'd say tactically we dealt with them as well down the centre. They kept trying to go out wide and they kept failing. At the same time, and we didn't always play with pitting back wing backs. It was just a low quality game from both sides, in my opinion.
Daniel Brain comes say, I like to say wing-backs are not good enough. Strikers can't hold up the ball. And I think that's the issue at the moment. Lacking quality and both in front and back.
Yeah.
Talking about Collier, we mentioned him a little bit. And this came out, Collier comes in and he's the first Man United player in midfield on the record since 2003-2004 season with 50-plus passes in the first appearance at Old Trafford in a major European competition, while also maintaining a pass accuracy of at least 94%. So he's been brilliant coming on, and the future looks bright. And yesterday we saw this situation with Collier. He cleared the ball off the line. This is the goal footage, goal line technology. So you see half of the ball was in the goal, and he saved it. So it was brilliant from Collier. And here you see in motion what Collier did. So he actually cleared the ball on the line. So that was brilliant from him. And he looks really solid coming on. He looks mature for his age, and I think he's ready to take a step up and be a part of the starting 11. Do you guys see a future for Collier?
I mean, I see a footballer that we just don't have in the team. He just shows up everyone else that's experienced in the side, doesn't he? I think he plays against Stade Bucharest. I think his kind of profile, for me, again buzzword. Love the new buzzwords. I think it suits Europe a lot.
Yeah,
and that's why I would probably get on the ball a lot more because of players like him. Like some are calling him the baby Declan Rice, but he's better at turning and whatnot than Declan Rice. I think they are similar. I don't think he's going to offer much going further forward. So again, he's that mold of a defensive box-to-box type of player, or a 6 in the first phase, the new modern 6. Potentially, I think his future probably lies there, I would say.
I quite like him because I think he's quite intelligent. He's way more intelligent in the players that we have in there. So when he gets the ball, his movement, off the ball movement's brilliant. He knows when to jog, he knows when to stop, he knows when to step right, step left. His visual awareness, his overall positional play is by far superior to most of the players that we have on that pitch, unfortunately. When you talk about Lenny Yoro, he's had his problems so far, but he's an 18-year-old coming from a passive league to an aggressive league. But he will make it, and he will get there, and he'll be probably our future captain, Lenny Yoro, if he stays within the club, because he's got the attributes of a footballer. Mazzara's got the attributes of a footballer. We don't have many attributes as footballers. So I think your point about we've got a footballer nobody never knew we had is correct. And that's quite poor when you're looking at the size of Manchester United, that where we are, where we've fallen from, that we've had this gem and we just don't know how to use this gem. So also, by the way, we talk about our wing backs being pressed back. It's such an annoyance to me, that is, because you should never allow your wing backs to be pushed back anyway. You should be able to manoeuvre your way out at this level of football, manoeuvre your way out quite comfortably. You don't have to go long all the time. You're right about City, by the way. Have you noticed how the Messiah, who supposedly invented the false 9, which he never did, by the way, Alan Ball was playing that back in the 70s. And now he's going long ball because he's trying to find a way of City to try and play different. Well, we need to do the same. And if we are being pushed back, that's our own fault. It's our defenders' fault that we're being pushed back. And they've got to make sure they're 10 yards further up and don't allow their wingers or their fullbacks to push us deep. But we're not doing that. We're not experienced enough to do that. I'm not saying Dorku will do it. I'm not even saying Martinez will stop this incessant pressure that we're getting on the wings, but it will help when you've got somebody who's got a real understanding on how to play wing back, because Dalot doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't understand it. He can't play right back or left back because his positional play within his quadrant's terrible. He never stays there. He doesn't position himself correctly against a winger. So we kind of only got ourselves to blame in many ways. When you allow pressure onto you, if you don't have the guile to maneuver your way out of it, you're always going to be struggling anyway. And I think Cass is right. I don't think Durgu's the direct answer, but he will be some kind of answer to help us push up.
Yeah, my computer is acting up. I just want to say today we have Ruben Amorim's birthday. The gaffer is 40 years old.
I know.
I can't imagine you have a manager that's younger than me. It makes me feel old. So 40 years old, Stu, what were you doing when you were 40? That was back in the late 70s.
Hey, no. Shut up, you. No, you fucking cheeky bastard. What was I doing when I was 40? I was still playing a decent level, actually. I was playing Midlands Prem, which is back in when I was 40. That was step 7. Yeah, step 7. So it was a decent level. I retired at 47 that year from the Midlands Prem. So I was still kicking about as you do. A young father, youngish father at the time, So that's what I was doing when I was 40. I can't remember the actual night because I think I was hammered somewhere, lying in a gutter. You know what it's like, something like that. But yeah.
Gas, do you still play the game? Are you on mute?
Oh, you're on mute, Gas.
I said not as much as I should, considering I'm actually quite good at football, but I don't have the time for it as much as I'd like to anymore. I went from playing literally every single week, if not like 3-4 times a week, to pretty much YouTube.
Yeah,
because it takes up so much of your life. You think your earnings or your revenues are all on the weekend pretty much, and then can't make a football game. So it's just I don't really know. I've moved, so I don't really know many people up these ways. But I could say, I'll go find a team. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But all the good teams are like pretty much Sunday League. I'm better than Sunday League, way better than Sunday League.
Where you living?
I'm living in Bedford at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I ain't got the fitness to be doing playing for Bedford Town or anyone like that. So it's just, and I can't be asked to go get fit again. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well,
I need to quit, but I can't. I'm still knocking about, Cass. I can't quit. I'm still playing.
I'm thinking about doing some refereeing at some point, though. I think.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Crying out for refs.
Yeah, I don't have the temperament to be a manager no more. I feel like I'm tactically great and all this stuff, and like anyone with an ego, but I don't have the temperament with these younger lot these days. I would end up losing my shit. So
they don't know the game. They don't study the game. They don't get it.
Yeah, I can't be asked. But refereeing is something I don't know. I've been kind of thinking about it. I wouldn't mind getting up on a Sunday to do some refereeing and then see where that might go later, just as a hobby. Do you know what I mean? I'd be taking the piss out of players. I'm not even gonna lie.
We should get you on when we get Keith on again next. He'll give you some tips. How you can do it.
Get a decent whistle, laugh at everyone.
Yeah, you need a decent whistle. Yeah, a couple of Jarvis giving you red and yellow cards. You can post them to.
Yeah. I can. When it comes to, I don't have much on the schedule left, but I have this one. I found this on Facebook today, and has historical Man United 11. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a lot of good old names in this. Let me just enhance it a little bit. So here you see Rooney on top, Giggs, Bobby Charlton, George Best on the right, Scholes, Brian Robson, no Roy Keane, Irvin, Ferdinand, Folks, Gary Neville, and Schmeichel in goal. Stu, do you concur? Is this the best Man United all-time 11?
You look, you have to put Rooney in there by virtue of being the record goal scorer, but Dennis Law will get in there for me.
Dennis Law.
He was phenomenal.
You have Dennis Law here. He's on the bench.
I would have Dennis Law in place of Rooney. And don't forget, by the way, this is all subjective. Dennis Law, Charlton Best, completely different era to
Bill Folks.
Oh, what a defender, Bill Fuchs, yeah. What a centre half. Hard as fucking nails.
I ain't seen no clips of him. I just know him by name. Obviously.
Yeah, hell of a big, strong. I'd have Stamin as opposed to I'd have Stamin over Ferdinand. Like Ferdinand, by the way, but I'd have Stamin. I think he was a much more all-rounded player. you can't argue with Dennis Irwin. You know, I mean, you just can't. You really
one
can't.
and only.
The one and only. Gary Neville, do you know something? Right back has always been a bit of a problem area for us. We obviously had Paul Parker, but we had the likes of John Gidman, you know, and Brian Greenoff back in the day. We never had what you call it. Well, you know,
because it was a nothing position back then. That's why.
Yeah,
it was not rated as highly as the other positions. It was like if you're a fullback, it's because you can do a job. Your Wes Brown, your John O'Shea's, you know, your Phil Nevilles, and
exactly. Yeah. So I'm not so sure about that. Robson, I mean, it's tight with Keane, to be fair. Scholes, for me is a one. Yeah, you will go Giggs, I think. But I mean, look, you know, all right, Gordon Hill wasn't as flashy as Giggs, but he was fucking one hell of a left winger back in the 70s, and you had Stevie Coppell on the right, but they were just playing meat and two veg guys. They get the ball, hit the wings and ping it in. Joe Jordan, Stapleton, Stuart Pearson, Sammy Mack, all get on the end of it. That's what football was back then. So you can argue with Giggs. Bobby, I mean, fucking hell.
Oh, we'd have Giggs as wing back these days. That would be amazing.
You probably would. Yeah, you would go Giggs as a wing.
Yeah. And Best. You know what? Forget it. Best in the 10. There you go. Another one.
Yeah. And then you've got, you know, Georgie Best. So for me, I'd probably put Lauren ahead of Rooney, but I you know, I'm not being a twat by saying that. For me, Law was a better all-round player. Just for me.
If someone said Steve Bruce's son was Harry Maguire, I'd believe him.
Yeah.
I'd believe him. Same head shape, same trim, same nose. No weird smile as well. Yeah, got the barnet. Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
One of the most underrated centre halves ever to play in the British game.
Yeah.
Stevie Bruce, yes.
Never played. You know, in England, one of the most underrated centre halves for me. But Bill Fuchs, what a fucking player he was. He was. He's one of those I've only seen clips of, but wow. And Stepney. Yeah, I've interviewed Alex Stepney a few times, and he was a brilliant keeper, absolutely brilliant. But then, you know, so was Gary Bailey, the old South African who played for England back in the day. So back in the 70s and 80s, we had some woeful keepers. We really had some poor goalkeepers, really bad.
We did. So I just wanted to show you this. Go on back on memory lane and talk about the oldies and goldies.
Who's the sub-keeper?
I don't know.
There isn't one. Okay.
Stephanie. That's the.
Sorry, Stephanie. Yeah, sorry. I was looking for Van der Sar actually. Yeah,
we had some poor keepers after Schmeichel as well. When you think about it,
we did. Yeah, would you made any changes, Gus?
Taibbi.
Well, of course, we'd have him. He was the greatest keeper ever, Taibbi.
Carroll. In there.
Would you change anything?
I don't know. Wait, let me see that. Let me see that again. I need to see that again. The thing is, I don't know who. I didn't watch Tony Dunn, Alex Stepney.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, sorry.
Edwards, and I didn't see any of them.
We heard a legend of Duncan Edwards, but I haven't seen him.
Who's the centre back that used to? There was Bruce, Irwin,
Pallister,
Paul Parker. There you go, Pallister.
Gary Pallister.
I think Gary Pallister should be potentially in there. I never watched Bill Folks either, so I wouldn't know. But you can't not forget the 60s. I suppose if you have got DVDs or clips and stuff like that, you can't. I think Pallister's one that just gets overlooked. I've seen a lot of his clips, and I'm thinking like, Bruce is mainly known. Let's be honest, a little bit more for his goal scoring ability. Yeah. Pallister was the one that was the old school sweeper that would munch everything up. I think Bruce is more legend because of the, obviously in terms of Man United fans, because of the famous goal. You know, So yeah, that I would maybe Gary, but I think Gary Pallister. I think it's just a better
It's a good
defender.
shout. Gary Pallister is, good choice.
What about Ronnie Johnson?
I mean,
think he's one of the greatest. He was so underrated for me as a fellow Norwegian. I always rated Ronnie Johnson, but he always came in the shades of players like Stam. But I think he was brilliant.
Johnson was at the club at the wrong time. Actually, Jarvis.
He always played when he was injury free.
Yeah, Johnson in his right as a player was an excellent defender, but he was at the club at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But that's what Manchester United was back then. You had 4 quality players for each position. Don't forget, you had Henning Berg at the club in and around that time. Henning Berg was a monster at Blackburn.
He was Henning Berg, but he was on the decline when he came to Man United. It was in his late stage of his career. He lost his pace.
Yeah, he could still play the game though, knew his stuff. So there was always quality. But Pallister's a great shout.
I would Duncan Edwards. I suppose he's maybe.
Do you know something about Duncan Edwards, Cass? And Neil Driscoll?
He died very young, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Neil Driscoll's better to talk about Duncan Edwards than I am because he's a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Now, word is, and the bits I've seen, I get it. He would have been possibly the greatest player of his generation. Not ever, but just of his generation. And that is saying something, considering he was, Charlton was in and around that time and best. But Neil, if you could maybe correct me if I'm wrong there, mate, I'd appreciate it because I know you know your stuff on that.
Yeah, I like this team. I think Stam definitely, even though I was quite young, again, Premier League years, all of that. Yeah, I got. What is it? The VHS of Premier League season. I got all of those tapes. The thing is, we could have a partnership potentially of Ferdinand and Stam, and I'm thinking, that time went through that rebuild after the three-peat, and we had that, and then obviously, you got Arsenal in there before Mourinho came in and whatnot. It's like I don't think. I think we would have done a 9-peat. I think we'd won a lot more, like literally a lot more throughout them years if we had both of them for many years. I'm not going to lie. But then Stam obviously went on and won what he needed to win with Milan and whatnot. So it's just like, it's always going to be that what could have been situation, you know what I mean?
So, Fergie didn't have many regrets in his managerial career, did he? But
he said Stam was one of them, wasn't he?
And Stam himself said what happened was a big regret for him. His other one is Jason Park.
He should have regretted playing Berbatov in the final.
Yeah.
Should have regretted playing him. What the hell was he doing there as well?
I don't know.
What do you mean you're playing Berbatov? I don't blame him. You know what? I'm not afraid. I don't blame Tevez.
Tommy Taylor. Jeez,
don't blame him at all. When you're that good as the way you're, and you think tactically, I'm going to put Berbatov up. Yeah, get out of here, mate. Sorry, you lost us that one.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Tevez to this day, was deeply hurt, wasn't he, that he had to leave the club? Deeply hurt.
Yeah, he felt betrayed.
Yeah, deeply hurt. David Hurd, crikey. Neil's coming out with them all now. He really is.
Ty is in the building. Big up, Ty. Good to see you. Smash likes. Good bunch of guys here. Yeah, good to see you.
What would you do, Jarvis, with that?
Yeah, I liked it. I was just interested in hearing your guys' opinion on it.
No. I love stuff like
guys,
that.
and
shocking, isn't it? How we've gone through a whole decade since our last decade or so, pretty much, and we can't put a single player in. Not even a conversation like, maybe if not even that. Even Andy Cole don't even get in there.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
He's underrated.
Player.
Heavily
underrated. There's not a better exponent of back to Cole play in a 6-yard box than Andy Cole. The way that he would take it, turn, twist, and score was phenomenal.
So you need him to do?
Yeah. Well, I asked him. I've interviewed him as well a few times, and I asked him about that. And I said, "Was that instinct?" He said, "No, he practiced. Practice.
What do you?
Højlund doesn't know.
Where did you interview him on?
So last time I saw him was 2017 at Le Mans. So we had a golf event. I'm a journalist, editor, straight thing like that. And we're at Le Mans, and we're on the grid in Le Mans, and we had lunch all together. And so I interviewed him and had a really good chat. So it was in a magazine I was working for back in the day.
Oh, fair. Must be nice.
Yeah, I've been quite lucky. I mean, I don't know if you like your motorsport, but I do a lot of work in MotoGP and World Supers. Yeah. So if you ever watch the idiots on the grid with a camera, that's usually me.
Oh, fair enough. I need to see somebody. I need to see somebody's interviews.
Yeah, they're quite funny.
I've got time. I've got time.
Yeah, that was magazine. That one. I'll see if I can dig out some pictures. I'll send them to Jarvis.
Sick.
Cool. We are 1 minute 45, 1 hour 45 minutes into the show. So I think we will go on for about 10 more minutes. So we will do a quick Q&A at the end of the show. I just want to go to this. We have a update from Roshmano. So let me just
No, it's a retweet. It's a retweet.
No. This I think this one is quite interesting. It's about Evan Ferguson. You Ferguson.
We got told this yesterday.
Oh no, not Evan Ferguson.
We got told this. You know what? All right, let me ask you lot an actual question because maybe we shouldn't do this. But who says no?
To Evan Ferguson?
Who says no? Because we're talking about a young striker or someone that's available that's just better than what we've got. Who says no?
I think you would take him, yeah.
Starving.
A lot of people want the lap, don't they, from Ipswich?
Oh, he's a new flavour of the month.
Yes.
I'm not involved with all that hype. I can't be bothered with it. He scores a few penalty goals. Yeah, he's got a nice little trickery. I'm like, no different from Xerxes, mate. Like, honestly, can't be asked with it.
No. Second update, as you said, another retweet. It's this one, positive talks between Man United and Lecce over Patrick Drogu. And the thing is, there's a retweet under here, answer from Fab with the eyes up. So he wants us to pay attention to this. So,
but he just wants people to notice that he's made a tweet about it as well. And he's like taking away attention away from Sky Sports. The PGMOL activists or enablers.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't bother for Fabrizio. You get someone, and you know what? Ornstein's taken that route lately. I noticed until he started getting abuse, and he stopped it. Getting on my nerves.
I think Ornstein is a notch better than Fabrizio at the moment. You saw that Nypan thing that came out. He was apparently going to Man City, and then Ornstein came out and debunked everything, and now he's going to Arsenal,
isn't he? Yeah.
So it tells me that Ornstein has a little bit more info, but
we'll get an earpiece about how Ineos are not good enough because we didn't get a 16 or 15-year-old.
Yeah,
soon. Yeah. That's the one. People don't actually credit how good since our revamp of the physios and the medical team, look how much we've suffered compared to the recent seasons. People can say, what about Mount and Shaw, but they're just lost causes. Mount's not even injured. He's just got his injuries mental. He's garbage. That number 7 needs to be stripped away in the summer. And Shaw, let's not even bother. He's meant to be back now, isn't he? So it'll be gone. Yeah, he'll be back in a week. Don't worry, and then he'll be back, and he'll be gone again. Yeah. Same old.
Guys, girls, 10 minutes Q&A. Let me play the Q&A. What do you call it? Jingle, and get your questions in. Start with the letter Q, and we will try to answer as many as we can in 10 minutes time. So, guys, girls, just the intro.
look, I was a tiddler.
Yeah.
And Sir Duncan. So.
I'm very confused. What just happened?
Oh, so we have a Q&A session towards the end, but to be fair, we haven't asked anyone to send us any questions, so we haven't got any. So,
we have at least one question.
We've got one. We normally say at the beginning of the show, and everybody sends a question in, but we'll get your questions in, guys. We've got 10 minutes, so get them in. But so the only question we have so far, which is unusual because we normally have about 20, Jarvis and Stu and yourself, would you take Pogba back for 6 months?
100,000,000%. And by the way, you couldn't even take him for 6 months. It would be like literally 2 months.
Yeah.
He's back in March. So
yeah, he's I'll be interested to see. I bet apparently it's gathering pace.
Yeah, it's quite obvious, but I don't see how the club does that in.
I don't see.
I mean, it is a month away. I mean, I'm starving, but the fans won't like it. Again, another thing on Ineos, they'll be like, why are you bringing him back for the third time? Or something like that, or second time.
Yeah.
Just let it go, maybe. But I refuse to watch, Ericsson in the 6. I'd rather Pogba there.
I get you're going to get a different type of Pogba this time, aren't you?
You might be more hungry, but you might be more hungry because he hasn't played football for. Yeah, like he's got to prove himself again. I don't mind if it's just a couple-month contract and go from there. Then why not?
Yeah, I can see why people would be. I mean, I don't like him as a person, as an individual. I really don't. I think he's. But then we don't know what he's like anymore. I think you're right. I think he's had 2 years out of the game.
I think it's less than that.
It's definitely 12 months, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
but in a system, he'd be amazing.
It'll be interesting to see whether that gathers pace. So I think that's a watch this space. Jarvis, do you want to have a quick?
No, I wouldn't take him back. No, I don't rate him. I think he's over the hill, and now he's. I think he's. He was out of the game. He's been in the Italian league. He's injury prone. I think he has an attitude problem. He brings too much fuss. We all remember all this with his agent, and I think he will have a bad influence on the squad in the current moment. I don't think we are ready to absorb a Paul Pogba at the current moment. So it's a no for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. B has come in with at the panel. For Glinios to sign Davidinho again. It's in Ineos Sports. One of the rules to make money out of investments for 3 years. There's no dividends to have, Mr. B. We're not making money, mate. So there's no dividends to have.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. I think it's actually written they're not allowed to take anything out of the club, anyways.
Yeah.
Even if they wanted to, they can't.
Yeah. There's just no surplus cash. So, Jarvis.
How long will it take Ineos to sign who?
No, they're talking about dividends. So the Glazers are taking dividends out, which they're entitled to do as business owners. It's
I think they're building the club up again for a sale. So it could be they are not taking dividends. They just want to increase the resale value of the club when it goes out for the next time. 10 million is 10 billion is the target. We know the target.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Ineos aren't a venture capitalist business, so they don't have a start date and an out date, but they will be looking to fatten the club up for sale for sure, 100%. Mm-hmm. Guys, it's a really good question. Thanks, Mr. B, for that. It is a really good question from AG507. Question: dream signing you would recommend? Who wants to go first?
When you say dream, is that a realistic dream or?
We'll go with realistic dream. Yes.
When this Ukraine stuff gets put to bed, my realistic signing is Roman Abramovich.
Yes. Very good. Well, Donald Trump's let the world down because he said he'd sort it out within 24 hours and he still hasn't. So come on, Donald. So, right. Jarvis?
Yeah, I would take one guy I really like, and he plays for Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, Angelo Stiller. Yeah, Stiller. What was his name?
Proper playmaker.
Yes, I think he's brilliant. He's the one I want for Man United.
I got reservations about this guy though.
All right, why?
Off the ball, I'm not too sure for him. Doesn't engage in duels enough.
Okay, so you don't think he's tough enough to go into the Premier League?
Oh, he's German and whatnot. I'm pretty sure he's good enough, but I don't know. For me, it's always about right now. This whole system is about how good you are also off the ball as much as you are on the ball. You have to be 100%. Perfect. You have to be perfect.
Yes.
So you think he will be another Mkhitaryan or?
Nah. He's got a lot about him. I like him a lot. He's a good play. He's a very good playmaker. He gives me a lot of. Reminds me a lot about Tony Kroos. His passing is outrageous.
Yes,
outrageous. Very, very ugly guy, I must say. Not that it matters, but outrageous.
I think he has a cliff or something like that. Yeah.
So there's more than that. He's got the biggest nose.
Hasn't he? Yeah, he's got a cleft palate.
I didn't even notice that, by the way. I think Edison.
He's a brilliant footballer.
Yeah, Edison for me from Atalanta. He knows the 3-4-3 already.
Yes, he's good.
Yeah.
There's only one player for me at the Jarvis.
Paulinho.
Yeah, of course.
Paulinho. Yeah.
Any day of the week, I love him. I think he's brilliant, Paulinho. But not perfect for this system. I know that, but he'd be fucking brilliant.
And then I have to bring in Sander Berge.
Yes, you do. I know you do. But Paulinho for me, that would be it. Great question.
We need many dream signings for this squad.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that.
That's my man.
Steph's coming with why are United still playing with a false 9? I think that's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek question.
Well, technically, Højlund is a false 9, just not in the actual position. He's just a false 9. You know what I mean? So we've got no choice but to play the 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a tongue-in-cheek question. Great question, Stefano. We really appreciate it. This will be a decent one. Johnny K. Johnny, our condolences are still with you, old friend, and I hope everything's okay. Your side of the pond, mates. Myself and Jarvis are here if you need to talk. Just drop us a message. Johnny, a question. Who, in your opinion, is the most underrated forward since you've been following Manchester United? That is a fucking great question. Jarvis, you can start with that.
Well, the obvious one is Andy Cole. And I think he was brilliant when he came on. He missed a lot of chances in his first season, and he was kind of wasteful. And I think people got the wrong idea of who he was, but he evolved this game and became so much better, especially when he played with Dwight York. Yeah. So Andy Cole is probably the most underrated striker that I can think of on top of my mind.
Was it my turn?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go Danny Welbeck. I think it's obviously at that time, if you go back 10 years, you go back to every top 6 and their strikes that they have compared to today, it's night and day. But right now, we could do with Danny Welbeck.
I tend to agree.
So I think Danny
He's
Welbeck,
so good. Danny Welbeck, the Brighton game when he played, he was so vital. The way he just walked around casually, always attached to the centre backs.
His link-up play is so impressive.
Yes. But the way he moves, he's so football-y. His footballing IQ is really, really high, I would say.
I'm going to go a bit left.
I rate him.
I'm going to go a bit left field. Louis Saha. We didn't quite see the best of Louis Saha, in my opinion. I think he's a brilliant striker.
Can't forgive him. Can't forgive him.
No, I know.
AC Milan, I don't. When we lost 2, I can't forgive that performance. Yeah, don't care. You could have got us through and didn't get us through. So
I think for me he's the most underrated. But I agree with both of yours. I think Andy Cole, Dwight York, you put Teddy Sheringham in there. We got him too late. Showing we had too late in his career, that type of thing. So, great question, Johnny K. As always, buddy. Great question. Striker that I'd love to have had, we never did. Jimmy Greaves, absolutely phenomenal. Fred the Red says, question, does Jarvis think there'll be movement in January? Are we as fans pissing in the wind? It's a question you can't answer, I'm afraid, Fred. But Jarvis, give it a shot, and then Cass, give it a shot.
Yeah, first of all, before this window started, I said we're not going to sign anyone. I think we spent our January transfer funds on sacking Ten Hag and bringing in Amorim. So the problem is we're skint. But we can sign players if we're lucky. If we get rid of some of these players, I think it all relies on Rashford, and probably if we get to sell Garnacho, we will have some money. But I wouldn't rely on it. I don't think we will bring anyone.
Yeah. Cass, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think we get Dorgu anyways. I think that's just done. Yeah, I think Amorim said just get me him. Yeah. And then beyond that, we'll see. It depends on if Garnacho goes or if Rashford goes. It has to be one of the two.
Yeah, and then you've got to bring somebody in to replace them. So I agree with you. I think Dorgu is a done deal. Yeah.
At least. I would still say bring in Dorgu and Alvaro. I'd honestly, I would.
You get both, okay?
I'd get both, because in that means you can target like whoever you want in the summer. You can slow down, target up positions, and then if you want that Nori or Kirkes or whoever it may be, or Tyler Dibbling, someone like that, who I really want Tyler Dibbling. By the way, that's a proper footballer.
While we're talking about Tyler Dibbling, we'll answer Neil's question. So Tyler Dibbling, question: would Tyler Dibbling's family, I presume? Oh, he's saying, I think that Tyler Dibbling's family live by him. Would they move to Manchester? I guess that's the question. Well, I think Dibbling's brilliant. He needs to sort his shin pads out, but I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't get this low socks. Oh, you only need a mini shin. I thought your shin was bigger than that, but
yeah, so did I. Yeah, I did say to Jarvis. I texted Jarvis on the day. Cass, I said, "Fucking Dibbling, he's got no shin pads on," and then I realised that when he went down injured, did you see his pads?
Yeah, I watched the game live, and I was like, this guy absolutely tore us a new one. Well, he tore Martinez a new one. I saw Euro, the best part of Euro, getting burnt out. Where was I sitting? I was sitting in the lower East End.
Yeah,
I was like, this guy's Russ. And then just watching Garnacho miss as well. It's just like, this is a guy who also, his socks are getting lower and lower as well.
Yeah, Collier is all the same.
Mate, Collier is I don't know how it looks to you lot or everyone else on TV, but in real life, like, he is fast. Like, he is rapid.
Yeah, well, my lad has my ticket. He says he's brilliant. My lad goes, do you go in the TRA end, Cass, when you're there sometimes? Or
the TRA end?
TRA end. You know, the hardcore fans, so to speak.
Oh, well, yeah, above the tunnel?
Above the tunnel, yeah.
Yeah, I love it there.
Yeah, my lad's in there all the time.
I can't stand. Nowadays, I don't like sitting these days. Yeah. I want to stand. When no one else is chanting, it's like, just like, it pisses me off.
Yeah,
unless I had a long drive, it's different, right? Or how I'd get there. But I like standing now. Like, I thought I used to hate it, but when you're in a car or something, or you're in a coach and you're sitting down, I just want to stand up. I ain't got forget sitting down. I want to chant. I want to go home with my voice like losing my voice. The first season of Ten Hag, I think I went to about 20 home games that season, and I never left that stadium with my voice intact. Pretty much, I loved it. That first Ten Hag season was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, the atmosphere was different. Great. I found out where my favorite seats were. My favorite seats. If I wanted a tactical view, East Stand upper at the front. If not, I'm always I'm going Stretford end. Yeah, Stretford lower, but the second tier of it, love it.
Because I'm old, my seat's in the lower north.
Okay, yeah.
Jakey transfers our seat. So when I go, I've got to transfer it back because I don't want to be in the TRA end because I'm too old for that now. But Jakey absolutely loves it in there. Absolutely loves it. He got chucked out the other week for drinking beer, hiding beer in his jacket.
I didn't even get spotted.
He was removed, yeah. And I told him, you idiots, what are you doing? Come on. Anyway. Guys, let's move on. Raven strip.
No,
I wouldn't either. Just a quick one.
No,
I wouldn't.
No.
Okay. Hope that answers your question. Steph, I know you've got the question, and we will come back into you. Mick, Mick, how are you, mate? Big up.
Big
What's
up.
your take on Mark Ogden's reports on Rasmus Højlund? I'm going to go with lazy journalism on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with he tried to make an educated guess because he's a poor journalist.
It is
I could have given you that. You know, how about this? You could be called a journalist. Go make the same tweet what he did or writing about Xerxes.
Yeah, there's nothing for me. Jarvis?
No. It's too late in the window.
You know, I would like us to sell Højlund, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I know you would. Yeah, no, and so many guys. Trev, we haven't had a Trevor Wade question yet. But we've just kind of gone through that one then, Trev. We sell Højlund or Xerxes. I think the answer to that is
both.
Yeah. So, right, who else have we got? We've had a question off Fred before. I'm not even going to attempt to say your name. I'm going to call you Abs. I'm not going to make an attempt, pal, because I don't want to butcher your name. But thank you. Really,
Mohammed.
Yeah, thank for your question. Do you want to start? Again, we've just covered this. Do you want to sell Rasmus in the summer? I think Jarvis is a yes. Am I right, Jarvis?
Yes, I think we can do better. So, it's not about Player FC, it's about Man United. So,
agreed. Yeah. Cass, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, take away the R of his name, his first name, and that's what you get.
That's fair enough.
You're allowed to say it.
You're allowed to say it on our show. Go for it, yeah. Trev Wade's come in with about another 4 questions there. So let me just have a quick look at them. Okay, we'll do that one last, Trev. Greatest OG I've ever scored. It's probably more than humble. No, greatest OG I've ever scored. I went to head the ball. I was on the corner, first corner, near post, should I say. The ball comes in. It's come right to me. I've headed it, and I've trapped the ball on my head to the actual post itself. And as I've moved away, the ball's dropped and spun.
Yeah.
And that's my worst own goal. And my fucking head hurt after that, by the way. I just totally got it wrong. Which United player? Let's have a look. As bad as no. We'll go with this one from Trevor as well. Which United player is our biggest asset right now under Amorim as a manager?
Has to be Ahmad. Ahmad Diallo. I think at the moment he's our best player. He's our star player and our biggest asset. It would have been Bruno if he was a little bit younger, but Bruno, he's turning 30 now. So Ahmad, without a doubt, and the attitude with Ahmad and the way he plays, he can be as good as he just wants to. There's no limits.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'll go with Ahmad.
Yeah.
Cass?
Yeah, Ahmad.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go, Trev. Stephanie's got a question, actually. We'll do Stephanie's question next, and we'll finish off with yours, Trev. Stephanie's question is, would Højlund or Xerxes thrive at Arsenal instead of Havertz? Quite like that question.
I think Xerxes would.
Yeah, so do I.
I think he's better than Havertz. I think he'd do better than Havertz eventually, but yeah. It would suit them. He's just much better, and I think he's more fluid.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Jarvis?
Yeah. I think Xerxes would thrive at Arsenal. I think it would do much better than Havertz because Arsenal plays in that way, and I think Havertz and Xerxes has a kind of similar role. 9.5. I don't think Højlund would have thrived in Arsenal. I think maybe would have tried in the Championship.
Okay. I was going to go to Trev Wade's final question, but we've got a question coming from Raven Strip. To the panel, what would your message to the players going forward from the Fulham game as a coach be?
Get better.
As Nuruddin always sings, things can only get better.
Yeah, get better. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Get better. But actually, I would say have courage, hold on to the ball, don't waste it as much as we did against Fulham, especially up front. I think we should trust ourselves and don't play the long ball from Onana all the time. I think it's predictable and repetitive. We had one good attempt when we played out from the back. That was really good. We played from one side, zigzagging to the other side. We actually started an attack. So I would like us to do that. I know we can do it, and I want us to try. I don't want us to rely on Onana's long ball to the striker. I think if we want to evolve our game, we have to have courage and try.
But the thing is, with that message, we thought about the same message after the Liverpool game. How pathetic from some of these players. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like Martinez comes out and talks about the mind and all that. I'm like, and the next game you go and flipping drop points. Like, you're pathetic, mate. Yeah. You're a bunch of pathetic losers. Like, this is meant to be United, and you give out that message after one game against Liverpool that you drew against, which was unfair in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of crap, isn't it? Luckily for us, I say luckily, it might be unlucky for us because Crystal Palace, you know, they got another player out. You know, they're
starting to struggle, aren't they, Palace?
So Richards is out now, and also they're one of their other new signings. I can't remember his name now. Gives him an N or something like that. But he's also just got an ACL, so they're back to their bare bones of Nathaniel Klein and Gay.
I know.
And somehow they're going to look like prime PK and Poyo and Mascherano against us.
Yeah, probably.
So this is the one I'm talking about. The one when we actually played out from the back. We play under pressure. We keep hold of the ball. We have the courage. And you see Fulham is chasing us. They're pressing high, almost man to man, but somehow we managed to get out of it. And we need to do this.
It's because of Mazraoui. It's Mazraoui. That's why I believe he put Mazraoui at the left wing back, because of situations like this to help Garnacho out. Because Delo will just hoof it back to our own net, and he'll go out for a corner just like Rangers. Yeah.
Well, they can do it, and that's the proof, unfortunately. Okay, final question of the evening is from our good old friend Trevor Wade. It's the most divisive question ever of opinions, but I do love questions like this. Jarvis, your greatest ever United player?
For me personally,
there's
only one. That's Ole. Ole is at the wheel, but not as manager, but as a player, yes. For me, he was the greatest. You know, in Norway, you know, it was like Beatlemania when Ole played. It was on the front page of the biggest papers all the time. Every time he scored, there was a face of Ole like, hey, standing there scoring. So yes, for me, I think Ole is the one. But you know, there's so many greats, so I'm not going to say that Cantona wasn't it, or George Best, or But for me personally, I think Ole.
Yeah. Kaz?
Scholes.
Yeah.
Scholes. Nobody else. You can have your Rooney's and Ronaldo's Scholes.
Yeah.
He's everything.
Yeah.
But did you realize at the time, Kaz, or was it afterwards you understood that Scholes was that good?
No, I was a centre mid by trade. It is Scholes.
The
thing is, he's not my favorite United player though. He's probably my second. My favorite is Rooney. But for me, he's definitely the greatest.
I'm struggling on this one because I've got a raft of players I could choose. Paul Ince for one, Brian Robson for another. Sammy McIlroy was just fucking immense when I was growing up. But it's and Jarvis won't be surprised to know this, Cass. It's a big Ruud Randy story for me. I think he just epitomises the word.
Get your boots on. You could do him now at his age.
Wow. He's just amazing. Ruud was. He just. So for me, it's RVN. I have to say, loved him, guys. That wraps up the Q&A. My good old mate Jarvis is going to wrap up the show for us. So, Cass, it's been great to meet you, mate. Thank you ever so much for joining us. You are more than welcome.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you could.
I told Jarvis all the time when I'm in a chat, even though I do come towards the end, typically. Yeah. It's like you can always message me. I'll probably just jump on anyways. So it's just, I'm trying to just talk to more old boys, you could say. No offense. With United.
I am.
Yeah. So, sorry. Is that okay to say?
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is, dude.
Especially like older that go to United, season ticket holders and all that. I'm kind of when it comes to United talk, I don't think I like talking to people around my age. They get on my nerves. Yeah, I don't like talking about you say what fan base gets on your nerves the most, it probably for me, I would say, yeah, United.
It is us, yeah. We say that. Yeah.
They do my head in.
Yeah. Well, I always rant about the FIFA generation, Cass. Talk about all the time. My lads are FIFA generation. You know, football is all to do with CDMs and LWs and all that.
I could talk about half. I like talking like half space. I don't say I hate that. It's what the hell? What is a CDM and what is a lamb? You see lamb and ram, like left attacking ram. What is that? Are you a 6 or are you an 8 or are you a DM or you a CDM? Which one is it?
Yeah. So that's where we are. But look, I mean, you know, if you like your tactics, come and talk tactics. We absolutely love it. So we get our video clips up, Jarvis does. Get the tactical board up and we run through it. We love it. Absolutely, you're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Trevor Wade.
The silver Norwegian fox.
Yes. Now I just want to say, Cass, do you want to shout out your new channel, maybe to introduce it for the guys in the chat?
It's just MUFCxKas, pretty much in my name. I live with a City fan. Yeah, there you go. It's not as manic as you think, but all you got to do is hear Johnny Stone songs every day, and it's all right.
Okay, cool. But you recently started the channel. We started out. I think we had our first stream at the 14th of December. So
we did.
It's been almost a little bit more than a month.
So. I started, and then because I was doing too much, I stopped. Then bring it back a little bit at the start of the year. I thought, let me just get some United stuff because I hate toxicity. I don't mind criticisms. I like balance, but the reactionary toxicness and say, oh, I never said that. Yo, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. No, you didn't.
And that's yours truly. Big up himself, but Saeed, you're the biggest flip-flop Man United fan. Send that to you on WhatsApp.
Well, it's good to have you on, Cass. I hope you will be back another time. Next Monday, I think we have. Do we have any guests, Phil Mars or?
I think we got Phil again for Marshy. So we got Phil Mars coming on, and over the next couple of weeks again, we'll have Keith.
I think I follow Marsh. I think I do.
Yeah, he's great. We have him on. We have him on regular. Phil, he's brilliant. He's great for stories. He really is. He's top draw. Have we got a full 15 subs?
Yes, we are rising
Brilliant.
soon to become
500. Come on.
Yes, that's it. So, guys, girls, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. Smash the like, share, and please come back. We will be back. I will be back Wednesday night doing a preview for the Steaua Bucharest game, and Stu and I will be back with the match reaction on Thursday night after the game. So it's been 2 hours 17 minutes. Been a cracking show. So thank you guys for tuning in, and it's been great. So have a good one, and we will hopefully see you on the next.
See you on the call. Bye-bye.